Officer Daniels had walked the same patrol route countless times, but on that grey morning, with clouds hanging low and a chill in the air, something felt different. His canine partner, Rex, a German shepherd trained to detect danger, had an alertness in his eyes that Daniels could not ignore. As they moved through the quiet streets on the outskirts of town, where old factories and forgotten buildings loomed like ghosts of the past, Rex suddenly stopped dead in his tracks. His muscles stiffened, his ears pricked forward, and his gaze locked onto a crumbling, weather-worn house at the end of the block. Daniels tugged lightly on the leash, expecting Rex to move on, but the dog refused to budge. Instead, he lowered his body slightly, a low growl rising in his throat, the kind of sound he only made when danger was near. Daniels followed his line of sight. The house had been abandoned for years. Locals said it was haunted, a place no one dared to enter, its windows shattered, paint peeling like dry skin, and ivy crawling up its walls. It was the kind of place you avoided without a second thought. But Rex was drawn to it, his nose twitching, tail stiff, pulling insistently toward the front yard. Daniel sighed, glancing at the house once more. There was no sign of life, no movement behind the broken glass, no lights, nothing but silence. And yet, Rex pulled harder, his barks echoing down the street. Daniels crouched to calm him, but the dog whined, pawing at the ground, his eyes never leaving the building. Daniels had worked with Rex long enough to know this was no random curiosity. Canine South, like Rex, didn't fixate without reason. They smelled what humans couldn't, heard what humans missed, felt danger before it unfolded. Something inside that house had caught Rex's senses, something Daniels couldn't see. At first, Daniels hesitated. Entering an abandoned house without reason could raise questions with his superiors, and yet, ignoring Rex's instincts felt wrong. He thought of the training sessions, the countless rescues Rex had been part of. The dog had never failed him, never been wrong. Trust between handler and canine wasn't just about commands, it was about faith. Taking a deep breath, Daniels radioed in for backup, his voice steady though his heart pounded. As he waited, Rex never looked away, his steady growl resonating through the air like a warning bell. By the time the other officers arrived, Daniels had already made up his mind. They would check the house. It might be Nephi a raccoon, a squatter, maybe just the smell of decay, but it could also be something far more sinister. And Daniels knew, deep down, that Rex wasn't just staring at an empty house. He was staring at the truth hidden inside. When the officers pushed the door open, a wave of damp air and mildew washed over them, thick and suffocating. The house creaked with every step, its floorboards soft with rot, walls lined with peeling wallpaper that told the story of decades gone by. At first, all seemed empty, lifeless, but then Rex barked again, sharp and commanding, charging toward a narrow hallway. Daniels followed, his flashlight slicing through the gloom. That's when he heard it so faint he thought his mind was playing tricks on him. A cough, then a muffled whimper. His pulse quickened. "Hold on," he whispered under his breath. Moving forward, his beam of light landed on a small figure huddled in the corner, knees pulled to chest, eyes wide with terror. A child, thin, pale, shivering in oversized clothes. Daniels froze, shock hitting him like a tidal wave, before quickly calling out for the others. As the officers spread through the rooms, more small faces emerged from the shadows. Children, crouched behind broken furniture, some curled together, others hiding under blankets or old mattresses. Their silence was chilling. They didn't cry out, didn't run. They simply stared as if unsure whether these strangers were friend or foe. Daniel's chest tightened as he counted them: 4, 7, 10. Each room revealed more. The basement was the worst. The air was colder, the walls damp, and in one corner, behind makeshift barricades of crates and boards, were the rest. 23 children in total. Daniels couldn't believe his eyes. Some looked no older than 6, others teenagers, but all carried the same haunted look, the same frail bodies that spoke of hunger and fear. One whispered that men had brought them there, warning them to stay quiet, or else they would never see daylight again. The culprits were gone, vanished before the police arrived, leaving only these innocent souls behind. Daniels felt his throat tighten, his eyes sting. He imagined the parents who had spent sleepless nights praying for answers. He imagined the missing posters, the unanswered phone calls, the desperate hope slowly fading. And now, here they were, alive, all because Rex had stopped, because Rex had stared at that house and refused to move on. Officers quickly called in. Medics, wrapping blankets around the children, leading them out into the daylight. For many, it was their first breath of fresh air in weeks, their first step back toward freedom. As the scene unfolded, Daniels glanced at Rex, who stood tall, ears perked, eyes still alert. The dog had done what no one else could. He had found what was hidden in plain sight, uncovered the nightmare that had lived in silence. Daniels reached down, ruffling his partner's fur, whispering words only Rex could hear. "You did it. Boy, you saved them." News of the rescue spread like wildfire, shaking the entire community and reaching far beyond. Families who had nearly given up hope were suddenly given miracles. Mothers fell to their knees, clutching their children as tears flowed freely. Fathers sobbed openly as they kissed the faces they thought they might never see again. For days, the streets buzzed with gratitude and disbelief. Reporters called it the miracle at the abandoned house. Officials praised the swift action of the police, but all eyes turned to Rex, the dog whose instincts had cracked open a nightmare and restored countless broken hearts. Daniels watched quietly as cameras flashed, knowing his partner didn't care about the spotlight, didn't understand the magnitude of what he had done. For Rex, it was just instinct, duty, loyalty. But Daniels knew better. Rex wasn't just a dog. He was a savior. Investigators later revealed that the abandoned house was just one piece of a larger network, a chilling operation that had stolen children from their homes and hidden them away. More arrests followed, but none of that changed the fact that without Rex, those children might still be lost. Daniels often thought about the thin line between silence and salvation. What if he had ignored Rex? What if he had brushed off the growl, tugged harder on the leash, and walked away? The thought haunted him, but also reminded him of the bond they shared. A canine's eyes see what humans can't. Their instincts cut through the veil of the ordinary. That day, Rex had not just protected, he had given back futures, given back laughter, given back life. The children slowly began to recover, their fragile voices returning, their fear easing with each passing day. Community members brought toys, clothes, and food, offering whatever they could to heal the wounds. Each smile, each giggle was a testament to resilience, but also a tribute to the four-legged hero who refused to look away. Daniels often replayed the moment in his mind, the stare, the growl, the refusal to move, and realized it wasn't just luck. It was trust in a bond forged through countless hours of training. trust in the silent language between man and dog. Standing before the house one last time, now sealed off and marked as evidence, Daniels placed a hand on Rex's head, whispering softly, "You're the reason they're alive. Never forget that." And while Rex couldn't speak, his steady gaze and wagging tail said enough. This story, etched into history, would forever remind people that heroes don't always wear badges or uniforms. Sometimes they walk on four legs, guided by instincts more powerful than fear. And if this story moved you as much as it moved me, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Canine Era for more incredible real-life rescues. Because these heroes, these moments, deserve to be remembered forever.